Yes, it's almost noon, and we're talking. And yes, of course, is this stream even working? Yes, it is. All right, cool. We have breaking news here on Pucknology, and Pucknology After Dark is with you to talk about it. I am joined by Gentry Alexander. To be a part of the show, as always, use the hashtag Pucknology After Dark to ask questions or comment about the show or what's going on with the Sharks. You can follow both of us on Twitter. I'm Puckguy14. He's J Alexander46. You can follow the Twitter for the site at Pucknology. All right, we have a trade to announce. I know I'm stealing uh, Bettman's line. But first off, Gentry, how are you?
Feeling a little under the weather, and I thought I was having a fever dream when I read that notification and all those tweets about this trade.
Yeah, it's a little surprising. So here, if you are just waking up or coming off a hangover or whatever, here's what it breaks down to. So the Sharks, are they all in? Uh, they get James Reimer and I don't know if you can call him prospect Jeremy Morin from the Toronto Maple Leafs as Eric Landy comes in. Morning, sunshine.
Morning. Eric Laundry had to get a
Got
walk
laundry
in
done?
this morning. No, I'm not that good.
All right, so basically to go over this trade, James Reimer and Jeremy Morin come to San Jose. To Toronto goes Alex Stalock, Ben Smith, who we acquired at the last trade deadline for Andrew Desjardins, and this is the interesting part, a 2018 fourth round pick. The interesting part about this is that the stipulation is that goes to Toronto only if the Sharks make the Cup final.
No. You got that wrong. So it's a fourth round regardless of anything. It
Well,
goes to
let's
a
go.
third.
It goes
Oh,
to a
Yeah,
third
okay.
round.
Sorry.
it goes to a third round if they make the cup final.
My
So
apologies. I
Gosh,
read
you're
that.
what you're Ray Ratto type reporting with the wrong facts there.
Hey,
Come on,
hey,
man.
at least I know that we're locked down in six doesn't mean that we're in a playoff spot. Come on, bro, get your head. All right, Gentry. Good afternoon to you, sir. Hope you feel a little bit better. But
Uh,
what did you think of this trade that just came down not even an hour ago?
uh, I hate to say this because I'm a Sharks fan, but it's a good trade, and I'm not used to this. Like, is this real life? I mean, because the writing was on the wall with Ben Smith. Like once we sent him down to the Barracuda, I think it was game over from there. Um, and Stalock has been underperforming. So the fact that we were able to it was pretty much a Stalock for Reimer trade. I think it's an upgrade. Reimer has really had a good season on a shitty ass team. Um, I mean, I guess the Maple Leafs are going all in with Bernier as their number one. So, but that leaves the question with us is because Reimer has the potential to steal the number one spot if he's healthy. So where does that leave Jones?
That's an interesting point. Landy, good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks for coming on. What did you think of this deal?
well, first off, I mean, it hit me by surprise because it's just, kind of way out of the blue, and you just wonder, well, how long was this thing in the works? I mean, did Doug and Lou have a dialogue going on after the other trades? Um, I think it's a good pickup for the Sharks. You get that goalie that you really wanted for a backup. I think you kind of are seeing Jonesy getting ground down a little bit. Having to go 16 to 17. I think that Reimer fills that bill. And we were talking yesterday, if the Sharks, if Jones goes down, you don't kind of have any insurance plan. I mean, and you're basically writing off the season if Jones goes down. I think now this is an insurance policy on Jones to make sure that you get you get to the playoffs and you are able to come back, and throw two good goalies at somebody because let's go back to that 3-0 loss or sorry the reverse sweep in LA. Had we had a goalie that would have stepped up and made a save, had we had a Reimer instead of a Staylock, I think we might have moved on. We could have beat LA. And so, I think this is a really good insurance policy. The interesting piece, though, is Moran, because Moran, to me, has this super high upside. He was a really prolific scorer in the AHL. Just hasn't been able to put it together in the NHL. So I wonder, could this be a little under the radar kind of move to pick up, from GW? Because if you had Moran and let's say Barclay Goodrow and a Tierney on a line, I mean that would be pretty good. Up, you're muted, Eric.
Sorry. It would be pretty good, although I'm not sure that you put Moran in the with the Sharks right away. Maybe you send him to Barracuda. Gentry, you had some numbers.
Yeah, let me pull those up again. Jeremy this year during his time with the Ice Hawks, he has 9 goals, 13 assists for 22 points. And when he was on the Marlies, he has 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points. But yeah, I mean, but so far he looks like he's done well in the minors, hasn't been really able to translate it on the NHL level. So I think that was more of just like, you give us Smith, and we'll take one of your prospects off your hands and maybe have a night and maybe develop him into something. Because looking back at some of his other years, I mean, he's has put up good numbers. He's gone up to, I think his career high was with the Kitchener Rangers in 2010, 2011, or no, yeah, 2009, 2010 with 47 goals. So he has the potential to be a goal scorer, for the maybe the Barracuda or for the Sharks in the long run. But we'll see.
I remember his draft year. I remember him being quite a highly touted prospect. Um, so I think that it is kind of a under the radar kind of pickup, and I think he does have potential.
Yeah, definitely. He looks like a promising guy. He was drafted in the second round by Atlanta in the 2009 draft. Uh, it could be something to note worth, but we shall see down the road. I'm not sure, but let's look at it this way, guys. We traded a goaltender that wasn't going to be here, that we would probably lose for nothing. We traded a player that we got last trade deadline that I guess just didn't fit in with Peter DeBoer's uh, system or whatnot. That he was sent to the Barracuda. Of course, he also had the bad luck injury. But you trade those two guys, and you get a minor leaguer back, but you also get a bona fide goaltender in return. I mean, that's a pretty good deal, and throw a mid round pick to Toronto 2 years from now. Um, I mean, kudos to Doug Wilson.
We've got another deal coming in right now. Hoodler to Florida for a second and a fourth round pick.
Ooh.
Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting.
So
So Calgary's starting to dismantle a little bit as well.
I
Uh,
would have guessed that would mean that we're also going to start seeing um, some of their defense core that they can part with, that they feel like they can part with, start to go next.
yeah, Chris
From
Russell's the
what
one
I've
that everybody was
from what
talking
I've been
about.
reading, it's looking like Russell from
Mhm.
Calgary might be going to the Blackhawks. So, hooray!
Oh, wow.
So let's
It,
just give them all to Chicago.
yeah, it seems like it.
Hey Sharks, you guys want Marlowe?
I mean, you're
Just
already going to be well over
give
the
it to
cap
me.
next year, so
Yeah.
why
If you're
not?
gonna
Slushy, you are right. He was um, he was on a part of the Bufflin and Ladd deal in it with Atlanta after they won their first cup with in 2010. Yeah, he was a part of that, and in fact, he was also, I believe, a part of the Brandon Saad deal because he was a Blue Jacket for a moment there too. So he's kind of moved around a few times for Morin. Reimer, I think, is a solid backup. He is a UFA at the end of the year, though, which is interesting to say. And also, you now have sent off uh, another pick to a team, although a fourth or third rounder in 2018 is probably more easily to acquire down the road.
Yeah, I think a fourth is not not bad at all. I'm going to go over the Sharks draft picks right now. Um, let's see. Let's take a look at San Jose Sharks. If anybody is looking for these, I use Pro Sports Transactions. They have an awesome lookup table for the Sharks and for most sports, and it tells you what goes where. So 2016 Sharks have their second. They have two fourths, a fifth, a sixth, and three sevenths. No, maybe four sevenths, depending on the conditions of these picks. 2017. So the Sharks have okay. The 2017 they have a second going to the Maple Leafs. They have a sixth going to the Avalanche. They have two sevenths, and then Toronto has their second in 2018 and a fourth or a third in 2018. So, I like the pick management. I don't think it's strip mining too badly, but I don't think you want to dive any more into the cupboard. I think this is at most what you wanted to give up because then you're really starting to cripple yourself going further on. I mean, you keep your first round picks, which are very good, and had it been this year's draft, I wonder what Lou Lamoriello was asking for. You know,
Yeah,
because we gave him a fourth with a condition to a third. I wonder if he would have taken something else this year, would have taken a lower pick. But you know what? If you're able to skirt that for this year and able to come back and give him something in 2018, that's not bad at all.
Now, what would be the condition? Well, maybe they haven't announced it yet, but what would be the conditions of the pick if we re-signed Reimer? I'm
Uh,
not saying we probably will, but that's a good possibility to look at because let's say he does perform. Let's say he does wonders for us and gets us deep.
the
Why?
condition is contingent on how far the Sharks go in the
Okay,
playoffs. It has nothing to do with re-signing. I believe the condition is it's a fourth with it's a fourth right now, but if the Sharks make it to the Stanley Cup Finals,
it
so
turns
not
into a
even
third.
yeah, not even winning the cup, but just getting to the finals, it automatically becomes a third.
So
which
pretty much the
which
Sharks have to go all in at this point. I don't see the Sharks making any more moves towards the deadline. I mean, unless Doug Wilson decides to just pull out a blockbuster and move one of a Marlowe or Nieto and go from there. But we'll see. I honestly think that we're going to stand put. I think we've addressed all the needs that we needed to. We got the backup goaltender. We've got defensive depth now.
which
So
was just going to lead to what I was just going to say. Are the Sharks done now? We keep hearing there's reports of LA trying to acquire Purcell
so
and Schultz from Edmonton. Um, it, I would have to say the Sharks are done, and for that matter, I would think after if the Kings were to pull off that trade that the Kings are done. Uh,
And I mean, I don't see the only other need that I see on this team is a second line winger, but that's going to take a lot to get back. I mean, that's going to probably take a pick and a prospect. And like I said before, right now you can deal with the picks that you've given up and you can get those back fairly easily, but you don't want to strip mine any more than what you've already done.
Hmm.
yeah, and here's a statement coming out from James Reimer on being traded today. Quote, and I'm quoting here: "I'm shocked personally because I didn't think any team would really
Oh,
want
that
me."
no, that's a fake. That's a
That's a
fake.
fake. Oh man, damn,
We got trolled.
damn, I got trolled. That's a
That was
fail.
it was pretty funny, but it's actually a fake. Read through it more and you'll see it's a fake.
Damn, that's what I get for like scrambling through. Yeah, Lamarillo confirms that the 2018 fourth round pick becomes a third if the Sharks make it to the Cup final.
Yeah.
That's a big whoop-de-doo if that's the case. So
Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
rather lose out on a couple of picks if we make it to the cup final, because but we'll see. I mean, I do like this move. I really do. I've thought Reimer, that Toronto misused Reimer. He should have been their number one. The fact that they went after Bernier was a dumb move. I think he was just not given the faith in that system. He wasn't given a defense in front of him. I think that if you would have given him a good defense, not saying that the Sharks have that much better of a defense, but I mean it is astronomically better than what Toronto has given him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I think he
uh,
got the short end of the stick there.
all right. For some reason, the lower third and the graphic isn't showing up, so I'm doing it this way. Here are the stats for both goaltenders now for the Sharks. So
Uh,
Reimer comes in at 11, 12, and 7. Is
Eric,
it not
we don't.
working?
No.
no, it's just showing the folder itself.
Well, that sucks.
Technical difficulties here on Pucknology.
Yeah, here we
We're
go.
so used to being after dark that when we're in the afternoon, we experience all the technical difficulties.
Hey, it's only afternoon by like 15 minutes. Uh,
Skyrockets in flight, afternoon delay. There
okay,
we go.
Eric,
Now we
go put.
got it up.
All
All
right.
right. Yeah, there we go. So Reimer's 11, 12, and 7 with a 918 save percentage, 249 goals against. Jones, 29, 17, and 4, 916 save percentage, 236 goals against average. So they're about the same in save percentage and goals against.
However,
Records obviously different.
however, Reimer played for a shitty Toronto team, so
Exactly.
we'll see. I mean, I think those numbers, having those type of numbers with Toronto, that's impressive in my book. Let's look at Bernier's numbers and
Definitely.
then we'll talk.
And Slushy making a good point. Will we see Reimer Monday or tomorrow? I can't see him doing it tomorrow. I could see him Monday
Monday. Yeah.
Monday for
for
sure.
Montreal since he knows Montreal. Um, it's very interesting that if they're going to do that.
It seems like we got another trade again, and I'm not
Oh,
sure this is. I'm not. I'm not sure if this is accurate, but NHL sources say, which is a sometimes they get stuff right, sometimes they don't. Um, Kings on Purcell and Schultz from the Oilers.
so that's a done deal now because
Apparent,
that
it's
was
It's now a done deal
yeah,
from the
apparently,
looks of it.
yeah.
Oh
So
boy.
told unlikely involves a roster player to return to Edmonton is what Dreger tweeted out 3 hours ago. Um, yeah, going before. Yeah, Hoodler to Florida was a 2016 second round and a 2018 fourth rounder. So a lot of 2018 picks getting thrown around there.
yeah, I just think these guys are thinking, well, maybe we can. can somehow recoup these picks, and not have to give up this year's. Let me pull up Bob McKenzie and let's see what he's got to say on the.
With
On
all these trades happening right now, I mean, you'd feel like today's the trade deadline. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel for those at TSN and Sportsnet because they're going to be bored for 5 hours.
yeah. So here's some new waiver news. Brooks Light is on waivers, and Talbot from Boston's on waivers. Porter from Minnesota's on waivers as well. Arizona claims Seacatch, which is pretty 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 amazing that they were able to get him. Chris Russell was informed yesterday he's likely to be traded. Pittsburgh and Boston are front runners for Chris Russell.
Um, Logan just tweeted out, gonna miss you, Staylock. Roomies in the minor 7 years ago to now, great memories.
Yeah, that's the tough part here is that we talked about we
Eric, we
talked
have
about
we have some waiver news. Uh, Quickly, Brooks Like is on waivers. Porter from Minnesota is on waivers. Talbot from Boston's on waivers. Arizona
whoa,
Arizona claims Seacatch.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Um,
Jared Cowan clears waivers. And the mayor, John Hoven from Mayor's Manor, Schultz and Purcell deal likely for two prospects, expecting Jake Marchment to be one of them. It looks like no, it says Kings will probably be sending Nick Shore and Jamie McBain to the AHL to make this work from a
Okay.
cap perspective. So yeah, we're starting to see a big flurry here leading up to the trade deadline. I mean, it's Saturday afternoon, and we've already got some big names going.
yeah,
Um,
it's crazy how quickly things have gone on. I mean, look at what is it? Look how long it took for our first trade of the year. What was it in December when we had Scuderi for Trevor Daly,
yeah.
and now all of a sudden within the last week everybody's starting to make their moves. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to say goodbye to Staylock. Apparently, he was a really good locker room guy, and unfortunately, um, that's one of their what did we call it? Teddy bears. That's a teddy bear that's gonna have to go. Um, if
Too bad
he
we couldn't have moved Mike Brown in one of these deals. That would have been nice.
Yeah, that's true. Although I'm if we're going to keep Ben Smith in the minor leagues and he was
Yeah,
making what 1.6 mil,
something
um,
like that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean you get that off the salary and you with that on top of what Stalock was making, you bring him in and there you go. It sounds like they're going to bring Garrett Sparks up for the Leafs tonight in tonight's game.
Hmm.
We'll see what
Uh,
happens from there.
Greg Greg Wyshynski from the Wyshynski vs. Merrick podcast, or Merrick vs. Wyshynski. Doug Wilson on Staylock. Staylock is a special person to us. He just needs to play and get his confidence back. Hashtag Sharks. Um, and then we also got Lou Lamoriello. Lamoriello seems to imply that Reimer and other impending UFAs could return in free agency. That'd be interesting if Staylock found some of his game and came back, or the other way around, where Reimer goes back to the Leafs. But I think what we said yesterday about making sure that you either re-sign some of these guys or you make it a really big, um, make a really big push in the playoffs. Because right now, I mean, if you don't get anything out of these draft picks that you've sent over, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, and going through Reimer on Twitter, there's a lot of bummed out people about Reimer going to San Jose and leaving Toronto. Like one person, well, a little bit biased because it's from at Reimerholics. The trend should be hashtag Lou is effing stupid. Well, you can figure out, but okay, Lou is fucking stupid is the actual hashtag. Reimer took us to the playoffs and Lou treats him like shit. I'm so done. Um,
Breaking
uh,
news: Reimer will wear the number 34.
Back to you, Landy.
Blackhawks. Blackhawks have called up Christian Ehrhoff and sent down Victor Svedberg to
So
Rockford.
are we just gonna assume
What?
that the so are we gonna assume that the Blackhawks are not going to the Stanley Cup final because they have Christian Ehrhoff,
I don't know.
or maybe
Uh,
he'll magically just start firing the puck on net?
So Brooks Like, Chris Porter, and Maxine Talbot are the guys on waivers today.
which is very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, let's talk about this, guys. Would you want a Brooks Like or a Maxine Talbot to come here?
Brooks Brooks Light, is he a left winger?
You're
I
asking.
think he's a left winger, and if so, yes, bring him because we need left winger depth. And Brooks Light is that type of guy that you want in the playoffs. He's a gritty guy. Oh wait, that's why the Sharks will probably go after him because he's gritty and he goes to the net.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I don't know. We just have so many players that are grinders like that. I don't know. Maybe even Talbot, Maxine Talbot, is kind of overrated. I don't know.
According to the Caps website, they list Brooks Like as a center, but he does shoot left. Uh,
So
and he was a part of the trade for Peter Bondra too.
All right, are we gonna take a Slushy's Corner question? Cause
Um,
I
yeah,
guess.
because he's asking. I guess you can if you want. If it involves attacking any media people, let's not do it.
no, okay. First question: in Joe Thornton's first game as a Shark against the Sabers, who was the starting goalie for the Sabers that game? He got
Oh
pulled.
God.
Is it A. Marty Biron, B. Mika Nornen, C. Ryan Miller?
It was Marty Biron.
Gentry?
I'm gonna go with that answer. I'm gonna go with Eric's answer.
No, it was Mika Nornen.
Uh,
Oh, but Biron played in that game though, right?
I think he was
Yeah.
the replacement.
Yeah. Damn.
mm.
Oh well. All right. Final. I
Wilson
guess.
Wilson on moves at trade deadline. You never say never, but I think we've accomplished a lot.
Yeah. That's definitely true. Um, it's basically the roster's essentially on lockdown now, unless somebody were to get hurt. Obviously, when Winkles comes back, I think it's pretty much, unless somebody gets hurt, that Mike Brown will be put on waivers and he'll eventually go to Barracuda. Uh,
Yay!
Please
I,
do not.
Please do that.
I mean, it just seems that Greg Wyshynski talked to Doug Wilson, and Doug Wilson punts on potential for new contract for UFA Reimer. Says Sharks' focus is now. So
Which would explain some of the moves for future picks, but I mean,
I mean he's going all in. The question is let's hope that it doesn't cost him in the long run.
yeah.
Um,
So are we kind of like because he chose number 34 and Mika Kiprasov was 34? Is that why we're
No, I think it addressed the need that obviously we needed a backup that, and obviously Stalock wasn't performing as much as I was a believer in Stalock when he was with the Worcester Sharks, and and I thought after his injury, he just never quite found his game again. And then he got a great start when he was with the Sharks. And just after that, it's kind of trailed off for him. And I think this system under Peter Dorver, for whatever reason, just hasn't agreed with Staylock. So, it's sad
Yeah,
to see him go. I'm sure he was well liked in the locker room, but unfortunately, just because you're liked in the locker room doesn't mean it's going to necessarily translate to wins. And after the season you had last year, you have to win. You have to silence everybody for the past couple of seasons. You missed the playoffs last year. You got reverse swept the year before. You win it now. All that everybody shuts up. So I think it's time to put your best foot forward and say, let's shut everybody up and go.
And I think that's a thing with, and maybe this also came down from Plattner too. You look at it and you see, all right, Anaheim's made some moves, LA's made some moves. We're right there with them. We've ridden Jones hard for a good chunk of the season.
You said rode him hard.
But essentially, you don't want him to be tired. You now have insurance. Um, Essentially, it sounds like we're going to worry about all the signings later on. I mean, they're going to end up with over 100 something grand of projected cap space at the end of the year. They now have one, two, three, four, five unrestricted free agents on the roster right now. Throw on top of Lurk, Haley, Stollery, McCarthy, McLaren, and Dell that are with the Barracuda. And also you have Hurdle, Nieto, DeMello, Tennyson as restricted free agents. So it's going to be a very interesting offseason. But and I'll throw this out to you guys. Landy, I'll start with you. They're all in. This is cup or bust for them right now, right?
I mean, you got to think. I mean, these moves are not moves made by teams that are rebuilding. I think that. I think this is DW's kind of last hurrah, last kick at the can for these players, for Patrick Marleau, for Joe Thornton. Because I just don't see how trading more and more picks over the years is going to be sustainable. I mean, we've said that before, and look how much it's taken to get the farm back in order now.
Yeah.
How many years it took. So.
And the Sharks just recalled Arundel from the Barracuda as a back, probably for just tomorrow's game, just in case.
Yeah. And that totally makes sense. I mean, yeah, the good thing is that Reimer is in Canada, and he could technically make it over, but that is a tough call to get him to Vancouver for a 4 p.m. start tomorrow.
I mean, well, let's see. If you get a flight out tonight, I don't know. I think he could probably make it, but I think they're probably not pushing it.
Yeah, I don't think they want to push it too much and play it safe. I don't think they wanted to do it. A question that we actually had personally was is Wingles counting towards the cap, and our good friend Ian Reed, good morning, by the way. Wingles is on the IR. He does not count against the cap. So Wingles, when he does come off of IR, somebody's going to have to make a move because they are going to be over the cap with Wingles' $2.475 million.
Wait a minute. I thought that because he was on the regular IR, he was not, or he was counting against the cap. LTIR is what gets what's not, what's cap exempt.
Well, I will ask our.
Well, it seems Ian has joined us in the call, so we'll just.
Yeah, okay, we can. Let me
just ask him like that.
Hey.
Hi, puppy. Hi, Ian. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. So
I don't know, my
Wingles.
camera's not working.
That's all right.
That's fine.
That's right. Hi, puppy. my question to you is this, and I'll just count it again. So Wingles' salary does count or doesn't count against the cap since he's on injured reserve?
He shouldn't count because he's on injured reserve, but I am just going to confirm that right now.
I thought it
Okay.
was LTIR was the only thing that was cap
The,
exempt.
any IR, I mean LTIR, IR, it's the same thing. It's a difference, but there's a big difference between on the IR and day to day. If he was just listed as day to day, then he would not be. Tommy Wingles is on the injured reserve, which means his cap is not counting against the current. His salary cap isn't counting as per general manager.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. Well, that's good to know. Well, Ian, since you're here, I'll ask your thoughts. And since you're somewhat near Toronto, what's the buzz like?
You know what? I don't know. I just got home. I didn't have my phone with me, so I just processing all of this pretty much now, hearing about it for the first time.
Got it. It's going to be interesting. I think that they've gone all in. I think this is I think what we expected them to do last year,
Yeah.
where they were going to be too pissed and just F it. Let's just go for it all. Let's make this happen right now. Um, I like it. It's a very risky move though because if they go out in the first round, you definitely open yourself up to criticism big time by sending away 3 picks, Rafi Torres, Alex Stalock, and Ben Smith,
hmm
uh, for rentals on a team that's battling for dead last in the league.
But are we really though? Because like when I look at the deal here, and like I said, I'm catching up right now, so bear with me. When you look at the guys we gave up, so we gave up. Let me get this right. We gave up Raf. We gave up Staylock. We gave up Ben Smith and a conditional pick. Correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Well, that
It's conditional.
It's
No,
it's for
it's-
sure a fourth, but it can go to a third if the Sharks makes the cup final.
Okay, well, big deal. Fourth, third pick. We had like 3 of them. Um, Here's the thing though. Staylock UFA at the end of the year. Ben Smith UFA at the end of the year. 2 guys that were not going to be back in Teal next year. There's no way these guys were back in Teal next year. Do we probably keep Reimer beyond this playoff run? No, probably not. I mean, other than the 4th round pick, you're really not giving up anything to get him. I think it's a very good move by Doug Wilson. It's a very bold move, and I think it's a good one.
Yeah, we mentioned it before that that's probably a good solid move because you're not going to get 2 guys to uh, that we're going to return, and you can get something out of them. You essentially get something out of them for compared to nothing when you would just let them go.
Right.
So that's a smart move, and now you go all in and see what happens. But I think we're all done, and this is the team that we go with, and we go from there.
Yeah.
So okay, we got to make room for Tommy, right? So who goes down? I think you got Tennyson probably goes down, so that gets you an extra. So you're at 1.2 on the cap. And what about Mike Brown? What's Mike Brown making?
One
Brown.
point
Mike
something.
Brown.
Yeah,
Brown,
1.2.
that'll
So
get you enough.
yeah.
Close. But yeah, you got to find a home for Brown.
Well, I think you just put him in the Barracuda. I don't think
Yeah.
that I don't think that you got to worry too much
Buy him
he
out.
can. Yeah, or you could buy him out too, but I don't think you even have to do that.
Well, here's the other thing now, guys, and this plays a huge role as I'm on general manager right now.
hmm
How critical is it now that we've retained part of Jason Demers' salary at
It is.
1.19? I mean, that's huge.
And the Burrish buyout. The Burrish buyout still counts against
Yeah.
the cap. I mean, so you're basically paying $1.8 million to 2 players that are not on the team, and that's piss poor, and that's on Wilson in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Because that's $1.8 million. That's $1.8 million you could have gotten $1.8 million. You could have gotten another player. I'm sorry, I'm a little sidetracked, but one
You're
of
saying
the Panthers, um, one of the
There we
reporters.
go.
reporters is saying Purcell and Kindle have gone to the Panthers. So maybe Purcell fell apart with the Kings. I'm not sure.
Let me see the. Give me a second here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation, a lot going down
Yes.
within
Reimer
this
just
afternoon. Very interesting.
Oh,
Reimer
yeah.
just Reimer just has his first thing he said after the trade. From the Sharks Twitter, coming to a team like San Jose, poised to do some damage. It's exciting. I mean, if you have somebody who's saying that, uh, it's I honestly think that like that's a good thing to it's like to already feel motivated. It's like, all right, I'm coming on a team that obviously didn't want me. Now I'm coming to a team that wants me and is poised to get to the playoffs.
hmm
That's and he wants to prove himself because look, I mean, not to be the bearer of bad news, but let us all remember the last time Reimer did start in a playoff series. That didn't go well for him against Boston.
That was such
Uh,
a David and Goliath matchup, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got the word in on Teddy Purcell. Teddy Purcell goes to Florida for a third-round pick.
Okay.
That,
So snatched out of
Snatched out
yes,
of LA's hands, which is
yep.
always good.
nice.
Good.
Wow. So now you just gotta wonder if Justin Schultz is going to LA because that would be interesting. They can work miracles with defensemen over there.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
see.
definitely. It's going to be very, very interesting. And now you can also say is maybe Florida all in on their moves.
Yeah, I mean,
They're making a
they
run.
picked up Hoodler.
Hmm.
I'm just
Yeah,
seeing.
Hurdler and Purcell.
Man, these last 6 weeks are going to be amazing right now.
Or disastrous.
Or disastrous, yes.
It's just this is the type of year where things start to get real because I think what was it like last year we were being teased about maybe being in a playoff spot, but then we had our epic February fail and it was just
Right.
pretty much.
Hmm.
And now we're poised to get back into it again after having like a year off. So it's exciting. It's like yay, playoff hockey is now is upon us again. But then you're also like, shit, it's playoff hockey. Oh God, please, Sharks, don't pull a Sharks.
It's
Shit,
nice.
where's St. Louis in all of this though? I mean,
That is, oh my God, St. Louis has done bupkis, really.
I think they got Nielsen right
Hmm.
from
They got
Edmonton.
Nielsen.
Yeah,
We got Nielsen last night as we were going off the air.
But that's about it, man. And you gotta wonder they're hurting up front. They need some more players, some more warm bodies up front. You gotta
but
wonder
that
where
my
they're at.
question for that is with St. Louis's trade to get Nielsen, how injured is Elliott? Like
I think. Well, I
how
mean,
bad is it?
I don't know. I think the other problem is though is that Jake Allen just came back from injury, so they don't really, I think they have to kind of hedge their bets against both their guys because neither of them have been overly healthy at this point. So I think that they really want to be careful just in case anything goes down at this point. Nilsson's actually been not that bad in Edmonton, considering it's
Yeah.
Edmonton. I mean, for a long time he had wrestled the starting job away from Cam Talbot, who seems to have solidified himself again. But you know, good on them for selling high on Nelson.
Definitely. All right, guys. Let's go. Final thoughts. We'll go around the horn. Landy.
You know what? This team is gearing up for a run. I don't know how smart it is, but it's what they're doing. So we'll be along for the ride, and let's hope that this stuff pans out. Because I'd love to see a cup brought back to this franchise, and hopefully these are the moves that push us over the top. But I'm not holding my breath.
Ian.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think this is a great trade. This is, I remember I joked around like about how if we were able to, get Pollock and Spalling for 2 seconds, what would it cost to get Reimer out of Toronto? And I shudder to think of the cost, but really, I think the cost is fine here. We send away two players that aren't returning because the coaching staff has no use for Ben Smith. Alex Daylock is obviously on his way out, and that's just how it is. I mean, he wasn't coming back, and it was pretty obvious at this point. And then you lose a fourth, which I think we have still two fourth-round picks left, and the odds of a fourth-round player becoming a player, are infinitesimally small. Not infinitesimally, but really small. So really, I think that this is a great move for the Sharks. If you want to go and spend on getting something, then this was the way to do it, and they probably got, in my opinion, Reimer could still be a starter in my opinion. So you're getting a backup goalie that could be a starter, and what more could you ask for?
Mm-hmm.
And you can still pick up another goalie in the summer because I don't think Reimer stays here in this, past this year because Jones is still obviously our guy. So you can still pick up a decent backup in the summer and cover your butt until then.
Mm-hmm. Gent, your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is this: the Sharks made a good trade after the kind of iffy one that they made for Pollock and Spalding. I think that Reimer was the bright spot in a otherwise shitty team. So I'm hoping that he comes in excited and and everything. And I think, yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I really hope that this will pay off in the end. So I'm rooting for you, 34. Follow me down.
Yeah, the Sharks now have probably one of their best goalie tandems since Nabokov Kiprusoff or Nabokov Toskala, early in the millennium.
Let's just say Nabokov and Kiprusoff because let's forget about Vesatoskala.
He only got worse when he went to Toronto. I'm just putting that out there.
Hey, you know what? Any player that gets back Logan Couture is good in my book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Toronto, for trading away Logan Couture and Tyler Seguin. Nice job. All right. So we'll have a full write-up on this on Pucknology.net. You'll be able to see the replay as well on there. If anything else comes down, fortunately, I have the day off, so I can come back on and talk about it. But I think the Sharks are done. We will talk to you after the game tomorrow night after the Vancouver game. We would probably anticipate Monday being Reimer's debut in San Jose. Well, that remains to be seen. But make sure you follow us on Twitter at Pucknology and all of us. Also, check out Pucknology.net. Make sure you subscribe down below or to the side, wherever it is. And for my constituents, Eric, E, and Gentry, thanks for joining us. Until then, apparently there's word that Hartnell is close to going to Nashville. That's not being confirmed yet, though. But until then, keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it real fresh. Thank you, AOL Connection, for not failing me today. Bye-bye.